focusing on winning, it's making you lose. Why am I saying this? Because I've done it so many times before when I used to compete, and so many of my athletes that I'm working with, they used to make the same mistake. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the same mindset shift that I worked on with my athletes, so that at the end of this video, once you finished watching it, you can go straight ahead and implement everything that I'm teaching you in this video. Because remember, it's not the knowledge, but it's what you do with the knowledge, the information, that is going to help you make the change. So, look, I get it. As an athlete, we all want to win. We all want to be on the podium, getting that big shiny trophy and applause. So, setting up goals like winning, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It's purely focusing, just focusing on the winning that's making you lose. So, to explain this, I'm gonna use the cliche image that is everywhere on the internet when it comes about goals and achieving goals. And it's the image with that little man that is stood in front of a big mountain that's got that little flag on top of it. And it says that if you want to reach the top of the mountain, you have to climb the mountain first. Literally, the top of the mountain, that flag on top of the mountain, that's your goal, your desire to win. And if you want to reach your goal, you have to climb the mountain. Climbing, it's the things that you have to do to achieve your goal. Now, when it comes about competition and setting up goals for the competition, we have two types of goals. And the first one is called goal outcome oriented goal, which is basically your desire to win. The second type of goals is task oriented goals, or the climbing part of the mountain type of goals, the things that you have to do to win. Now, it's not one or the other when you set up goals, but it's the both of them. And you have to start with the outcome oriented goals. What do you want from that competition? What is that you really want? To win? Cool. Now you got your goal, and you have to set up the task oriented goals. Now here's where the magic happens, because you set up the task oriented goals based on your ultimate goal. So you are breaking it down. This is your walking up the mountain route. Now, why am I saying that focusing on winning is making you lose? Now, this is, imagine you want to reach the top of the mountain, and you're doing it so by only looking at the top of the mountain. And once you start climbing the mountain, what's happening? Because you're not watching your steps, there's a big chance that you might trip over things, you're falling over, you're breaking a leg, and if you reach a certain height on your climbing, you might fall from that big height as well. And things ain't good too. So, going back to our goals, what does this mean? Like I said, but first I want to explain the focus part of it. So imagine your focus as being a flashlight. You are in a dark room, you turn on the flashlight, and you can only point that flashlight in one direction, towards your left or your right hand side. You cannot point it in both directions at one time, left and right. Your focus is the same. You can have your focus on one thing at a time. That's why when you're climbing up the mountain, you cannot focus on top of the mountain and on your footsteps at the same time. It can only be one or the other. When you're setting up competition goals, you have your outcome oriented, the top of the mountain goal. You can either focus on that or on a task oriented goals that's going to help you do that. So, going back to our goals, when we set up the main goal to win, now you have to set up your task-oriented goals to break it down into tasks that are going to help you, let me change the phone, that are going to help you win the competition. Now look at the task-oriented goals as the map towards the top of the mountain. You have the top of the mountain and you have the map that is showing you 6 checkpoints. And in order to reach from checkpoint 1 to checkpoint 6, you can only go 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and so on, because there are no shortcuts, no other pathways. So when you are stood there, if you want to reach the top of the mountain, you have to go to checkpoint 1, from checkpoint 1 to checkpoint 2, from 2 to 3, and so on. It's the same with your task-oriented goals. You have to start with the first task, then you start with you go to the second one, then with the third one. Now here's another thing, the magical thing. When you are focusing on going back to the map, when you are focusing on checkpoint number 1, you're focusing on the route that takes you to the checkpoint number 2. Then you are focusing only on the route that's taking you to the checkpoint number 3, and so on. And by doing so, you know for sure that you are gonna reach the top of the mountain, because you're following the map that is taking you with a certainty up there. When you are following the tasks that you have to do in the exact order that you set up, you broke that down, that's gonna help you achieve your ultimate goal to win, guess what's gonna happen? You don't have to focus on winning, because you know that once you focus on achieving every single task one by one, you are gonna win. So that's why I'm saying that focusing on winning is gonna make you lose. Because by focusing on winning, remember the flashlight, you can only point that on one thing. And if you point that on winning, you cannot focus on your tasks, on the steps that you have to take to actually win. Your mind cannot focus on 2 things at the same time. So you are distracting yourself from the things that you have to do, aka your task-oriented goals that you have to take and you have to achieve in order to achieve a big goal, winning. So I hope these things make sense to you guys. And to summarize it, every single time you want to win at something, being that in sports or anything else in your life, think about your ultimate goal that you want to achieve and break that down into tasks. And then start with task number 1 and focus just on that. Once you completed that, go and focus on task number 2. Once you completed that, go and focus on task number 3, and so on. I hope this is helpful for you guys. So leave it down in the comments what you think about this, if you've been following this kind of system, and if you find this any helpful for future for you to achieve your goals.